By Odin's bid, we are the powerful Nerdcast. Hello, my friends. I am Corey, and joined with me is my fellow Avenger, Christian.
Hello, Internet.
Yes.
We have many things to discuss. It has been a good time to be a nerd. Many good things.
The last week has been insane.
We've got like Jared Leto's Joker. Yeah. We had the Avengers come out. A ton of other really awesome things. I'm just really excited to be here and discuss them with you, Corey, and our viewing audience.
Yes.
Yes. This is live from New York.
Saturday night.
Yes. It's
okay.
Shitty reference.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. At the end of last week's podcast, we usually record on a Thursday. Today we're recording on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's our backup
day.
The
very next day, we got the big reveal of Jared Leto's Joker, which
is
a huge deal because it's actually the first character that we've seen from the Suicide Squad movie, aside from the leaked images of Will Smith over this weekend.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
You still haven't seen that yet?
Yeah,
all right, well, we'll look that up and we'll talk about that too. But Jared Leto Joker, obviously a week has gone by. We've had a chance to sort of relax, think about it, and I'm still I'm 90% okay with it. In fact, I kind of like the look of it. I like how insane Jared Leto looks, just how different it is from Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's version of the Joker, but I still don't like the forehead tattoo, the one that says damaged on it. I'm actually okay with the other tattoos because can you even recall any other situations, whether you read a comic or watched a movie, where you even saw the Joker without a shirt on?
No, but Jared Leto's some buff dude, so I guess they're trying to push that a little bit more. And his look is very different, and I like that. It almost looks more comic book like. It's kind of like they didn't try to go for a realistic look. They were like, let's just make this like the comics in real life. And I think that the studios are realizing that's probably the safe bet nowadays. Let's not reinvent these characters, make it so they used to be a gymnast and that's why they're so badass or anything stupid. It's just way better. And I'm also looking at Will Smith's Deadshot, and it looks really good.
Yeah. Are you looking at the one with him just dressed in the long coat, or are you looking at that weird commando looking character?
Both.
Now, I don't actually think that's Deadshot.
Okay.
I don't know.
You think it's just a random goon?
I think it is just a random goon. It could be Deadshot. Deadshot has had a lot of different looks over the years. Sometimes he just looks like a normal guy. Sometimes he's got this weird mechanical eye patch, which allows him to see things better with his sniping skills. But also when I see that costume, maybe it's just me, but I'm just not that impressed by it. Is it just me, or does it look like just a normal, almost cosplay Halloween outfit?
It does, but
it's mostly in the mask.
It's also, it looks like paintball pads or
something. What he's wearing on his chest and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look that good.
Which still, again, leads me to believe this is probably a goon.
But lighting and camera work can do a lot.
They can.
They can.
They can change everything.
It absolutely can. I'm excited to see Will Smith in this movie. I also am excited to see, there's just a lot of big names. I'm kind of excited to see how the story plays out because I feel like this movie is going to have a lot of competing people. And it's kind of like the new Avengers. Not that I want to get on that just yet, but I felt almost fighting to see the people I came to see because there's so many people they have to get to. It's a lot of screen time they have to split between a lot of characters. So I kind of don't like that.
In many senses, I can understand that. I don't know. I think the Avengers has proven though that you can juggle that many characters, but this is also brand new territory for DC. Before all the movies were very singular, and maybe they would occasionally have a sequel to that movie. This is the very first movie aside from Batman vs Superman, which is trying to build this DC universe with all of these new characters, and they're doing something really bold by going ahead and introducing the character of the Joker and Harley Quinn. And apparently, Batman's only going to have a very small role in this movie. In fact, even over the course of the last week, there have been leaked photos of Ben Affleck, who's been on set. They've been covering him with a black towel so nobody could see him, but clearly paparazzi are everywhere, and we know that he's going to be appearing in the movie at least for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's something else you and I were discussing right at the beginning of Age of Ultron before the movie started, was how we're getting information every week about these movies. Paparazzi's everywhere. If someone shows up on set with a costume, I remember we saw what the new RoboCop looked like way before that movie came out. Because
a whole year and a half.
Yeah, because someone was taking pictures of the guy in the costume. And so it's sort of different now. Now you're finding out about movies. I think they even leaked that there was supposed to be a female Robin in this movie. Or in the Batman Superman movie, because one of the extras talked about it and then got super sued. And so these movies are having to, and a movie is a lot of people.
Yeah.
To make a movie is just on set could be 200 people. So how do you shut all those people up? It's hard.
Someone's going to say something. Someone's going to have a long day at work. They're going to go out and they're going to go to the bar and hang out with friends. They're like, yeah, I was working on this movie set all day, and Jared Leto had this like green hair on, and I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and they're gonna get in trouble just because of that. But I mean, at least the whole thing with Jared Leto, that was an official release.
Yes, that was an official release
from the team of Suicide Squad.
Also, they're trying to, I think, get the Joker out now and not so much have it be a surprise. Control it. Because like we said, there's going to be so much going on. Let's control it. And I think there was also another video of Jared Leto doing supposedly the Joker voice at a concert when he was with I don't know the name of his band.
I think it's 30 Seconds to Mars,
which had some good hits. I remember listening to that.
That's
in high
actually
school.
a really like great way actually to sort of like practice a movie role. I never really thought about it because since he is a musician, he has a little bit of vocal range.
Yeah.
When he's hanging out with the audience and talking with them, that's like an opportunity for him to be like, hey, I'm going to test out some things tonight and see how you guys like it. You know, I did see that video too, and if that's the way his Joker sounds, I'm kind of down with it.
Yeah. It does.
I like how different this Joker is because every single movie version of Joker has just been night and day different. And I really didn't want them to copy Heath Ledger because everybody be riding the Heath Ledger Joker dick. And I love Heath Ledger as Joker. I thought he did a really great job as the character, but I'm ready for something new, and that's why I'm excited about this one. Like I said, I don't like the tattoo on the forehead. The other tattoos, they don't bother me that much because I know we're probably going to see him in clothes a lot of the time. And I even like the whole, like, how his teeth were destroyed and he has, like, these brand new, like, metal implants, you know, probably because Batman actually beat the crap out of him and knocked his teeth out. Yeah. I think that's a really nice detail.
I thought he just had a grill.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was just like, maybe he's just crazy.
If you, like, really look at it, there's, like, all types of teeth that are broken in different areas filled in.
I haven't seen that.
Like, it looks really crazy. And just his overall look is just, you know, insane. And it's obviously, again, another nice reference to The Killing Joke, which is a Batman comic, when the Joker becomes the Joker for the very first time.
Yeah.
The very first shot of him is just, like, freaking out, you know, looking right at the viewer. And that's exactly what they're going for here. So I really hope the whole tattoo thing is actually like maybe just a test bed to see how the audience is going to react to it.
Yeah, they're also releasing it so early. They're like, okay, let's see what people think. Because we just started filming. We can change it. And then everyone didn't like the forehead tattoo, and maybe they'll remove that.
You know, I think a really nice joke, and this is what I would do, you know, for damage control, because I think most people don't like the tattoos. I think they should axe some of them, mostly the ones on the head, because they're just so distracting. They should just make a joke like, the Joker just stole a damn magic marker and went crazy.
What?
You know, like, he doesn't actually have tattoos. He just, you know, he got a hold of something.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I just saw that they released a picture of is some of the people from the set of X-Men Apocalypse.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the 80s costumes?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like those.
I was very
They also
excited.
revealed Nightcrawler in the last week.
Yes, they did.
Which, you know, it's Nightcrawler, except now he has an emo cut. Simple as that. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
The actor looks pretty good, though.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a younger version of Ian Cumming, who played him in the last X-Men movie, and, you know, it's been a while since we've seen Nightcrawler.
What'd you think of the trailer for Tomorrowland?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
Before, like, I knew anything about Tomorrowland...
Because it was all teasers before.
Yeah, I didn't give a crap. I kind of liked that trailer, mostly just for the creativity of that big action scene they showed, where that little girl meets George Clooney's character, and those like weird agents from the future are trying to capture them. Like that scene where he's constantly tricking them, and like particularly this one scene where he uses this like magnet on a wall, and this like weird robot guy gets like stuck against the wall, and he's trying to reach for his gun, and then when he finally grabs it and shoots, it leaves this like big, like huge blast in the wall that has like a V shape. Yeah, I thought that was really creative. And visually, it looks like it's going to be really good. I don't know what it's about, and the only reason I'm skeptical is because it's another freaking, like, Disney movie based on a Disney ride. It's like they did Haunted Mansion with not Will Smith, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
And it was awful.
It was
And then you got the Pirates movies, which, you know, did pretty good, but I'm honestly just don't care about them anymore. And now we got Tomorrowland.
And then they even released, they're really pushing that John Connor thing. Look at this poster they have just released for this. They're just
for Terminator Genisys?
They're just straight up showing you John Connor as a Terminator.
I really wish they didn't do that. You know, in the last week they've also showed off new Terminator Genisys trailer.
Yeah.
And they revealed just so much. Just the whole movie you can pretty much see in the entire trailer. And considering that it's already kind of like a rehash reboot of the older movies, you're basically paying to see the same stuff all the time. But I still want to see it. I want to know what they're going to do with it. And I can't wait to see how the movie is going to end, because that's basically going to determine what's going to happen to the Terminator for the rest of the franchise, which we were watching Avengers on Friday night, and I remember you even saying, I'm like, it needs to be the last one. They just need to end it right there.
It needs to be the last one.
Yeah.
They need to not do it anymore. So hopefully that'll happen. We'll see if that actually does happen. But
back to Jared Leto for just a second.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people didn't like it. I'm actually not even really that angry about it. I actually love the look of it personally. Like I said, just get rid of some of the tattoos. I'm pretty happy with this version of the Joker. And, I mean, if they're going to release the Joker as the first image of these characters, I cannot wait to see what some of the others are going to look like. I cannot wait to see Killer Croc. Like, that's now the guy I want to see more than anything, because I can't wait to see...
Well, they already gave away the Joker and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's like, oh, we got to see Killer Croc. Is he going to be a big monster? Is he just going to be some human with scales? I mean, just sky's the limit now. I'm really excited.
What about... One second.
What about... Oh, all right. Well, I'll address it because I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I'm even wearing a shirt right now.
You are a huge Ninja Turtles fan.
They're making a new Ninja Turtles movie, which... God bless them, you know. I hope they make it better than the first one, because it did do well, though. In terms of money, that's why they're making a sequel. It made a lot of money. They sold a lot of toys. The kids loved it, of course.
No, it's stupid.
It's definitely a movie for the younger generation. But they're making another one, and there are some interesting choices. They've already cast a new guy as Shredder, guy I've never even heard of. And Bebop and Rocksteady are also going to be appearing in the movie, so that's a step in the right direction. Just, you know... even if the movie sucks, if I get to see a cool version of Bebop and Rocksteady on screen beating up the turtles... They can be like the
goofy, you know, bad guys. Yeah. Just like even Ultron was goofy. You know, like, they could be the goofy bad guys. I think people like that.
Yeah.
It makes the bad guys seem a little more human.
And I mean, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They can get away with the goofy. I mean, just say the name of the series. It's ridiculous. But, you know, Bebop and Rocksteady are coming back. There's also going to be Baxter Stockman, who is the evil scientist, and he's going to be played by Tyler Perry. So, you know, let that already be...
Tyler Perry playing a woman playing him?
No, it's not Medea as Baxter Stockman, which would be funny. Oh, Lord! I turned them into a rhinoceros! like, that would be a little ridiculous. But right after that, you know, let's just top it all off with Casey Jones, who is an incredibly classic character from the series.
He's like the buddy.
He's incredibly important, not only to the dynamic of the team, but to April O'Neil, Raphael. And what's really awesome about Casey Jones's character is that he's not like a superhero. He's kind of like Batman in some senses, more Daredevil, because like he just basically takes what he has in his apartment like as a weapon and goes out, which is he has a lot of like hockey gear and like all types of like sports equipment. And they just showed off what he's going to look like in the movie, and they almost had it, man. They almost had it right. The mask is okay. I think it's way too big. It's way too big. The actual face looks a lot like the comic version.
Yes.
But the biggest sin to Casey Jones is they shaved his head.
Yeah, he was always like...
You do not shave Casey Jones' head. He looks so weird without his hair.
It's kind of like part of his costume.
Yeah.
It's him being like this punk rock kind of long-haired dude. And I don't feel... If anything, long hair is kind of in, like beards and long hairs and dudes with fucking samurai buns. Like, all that shit's big right now.
Yeah.
So why... It's not even like long hair's out. So I don't understand why they shaved his head.
And, you know, even in the original comic version of Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones, like, when he was introduced, he didn't have, like, hugely long hair, but it was, like, very, like, messy and all over the place.
Grungy.
Like, yeah, exactly. Kind of like you said, that, like, punk rock look.
Yeah.
And without it, he just sort of looks like some weird shaved head dude with hockey gear on. And I don't see Casey Jones. And I just don't like that he's wearing a hoodie and all this other stuff. He just doesn't look like the Casey Jones that I imagine. And you know what? It's still not the end of the world, because there have been 10 different versions of Casey Jones at this point, and there's multiple versions of the Turtles, so even if this one sucks, I still got the old movies comics and the brand new comic that's running right now, IDW, which, if you're even remotely interested in the Ninja Turtles, check out the IDW series. It's amazing. If you want to see a badass version of Bebop and Rocksteady, holy crap. They are hardcore. They beat Donatello up to within an inch of his life and cracked his shell, bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
That is a badass Rocksteady and Bebop. We need to see that. But it's not going to happen. They got to sell toys. They got to market it to kids. And frankly, I understand that. I grew up in the generation with the Ninja Turtles cartoon, and as much as I want to say it's amazing, it's still a pretty crappy show. Like, it's not very good.
No.
You know, it's more for nostalgia's sake, if anything. But yeah, there it is. Casey freaking Jones.
Yeah, well, I think that Suicide Squad is going to be good. I have more hope for that for some reason than I do for Batman vs Superman. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm
more interested in it. No, mostly just because of the newness of it. I mean, even though we've never seen Batman and Superman in a movie together, just Killer Croc, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Joker, all villains. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then one of the other things, me and you, this weekend, we went and we saw Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Yes.
And before we go any further, warning, there will be spoilers.
Thank you.
Every part of this movie.
We are making the assumption you've seen this movie.
Yes.
That's
so
kind of the way
if you leave a comment saying, "Oh, I haven't seen the movie yet," don't skip ahead. We already gave you a warning. Here we go. Age of Ultron. I thought it was pretty awesome.
I liked it, but I think there were issues, mostly because of the amount of characters and the love subplot. Wasn't feeling that. But let's talk about the things we did like first.
Yes. The action scenes.
The action scenes, they had a good pace.
Yes.
Every time. They had Iron Man's funny as hell.
Always.
But also, I feel like they're doing a great job leading up to Civil War because he's definitely doing whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't really care about the team. And that was shown a few times throughout the movie. And
Tony Stark is a selfish prick this entire movie.
Yeah, he kind of is.
Like, I'm surprised no one really beat the hell out of him. Well, I mean, I guess Hulk kind of did.
Yeah, or you think they would have called him out a little more or something like that. And then Hulk was cool. He had a good, again, besides his love subplot, I thought he had a really cool, he did great. Thor, one of my favorites, but severely underused in this movie.
I mean, he had an important plot, but he was kind of in the background a lot of the time.
It's like,
and every time he said something too, he was hilarious.
It's like, give him more lines. And
please.
Then,
Captain,
great. Maybe a little underused too. They sort of just.
But his action scenes were way better than the first.
Yes,
without a doubt,
way better. He wasn't just pointing and telling the Avengers where to go like in the first one. He was actually involved, and the opening was so good. With all of them fighting. I like that they're still using Hydra. It makes all the movies feel connected. Hail Hydra. Or what did they do?
They do like the Hail Hydra.
Hydra.
They don't sound German anymore for the most part.
For the most part.
And some Hydra fans might be disappointed because there was one villain in this movie by the name of Baron von Strucker. Baron von Strucker is a very important Hydra agent from the comics who was killed off screen in this movie by Ultron, which is very disappointing for Hydra fans. But maybe he'll come back. Maybe that was actually just a ruse. I'm not really sure. I don't want to imagine that Von Strucker was killed off screen like that. But this movie was also setting up a lot of other villains. There was Andy Serkis, who had his arm ripped off.
That man was like a chameleon.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was Andy Serkis until you guys you pointed it out after the movie.
I think that's a testament to his skill as an actor.
He is good. Or it was a CG version of him, playing a guy, and I couldn't tell. Yeah, but he had one of the funniest parts with Ultron. When Ultron rips off his arm, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to do that." He just brought up Tony Stark, and that pisses me off.
And that's also a very nice, clever setup for the character of Ulysses Claw. That's who he is. He's going to be the villain in the Black Panther movie.
Yes,
which, if you actually paid attention, they even mentioned Wakanda, and Black Panther is the king of Wakanda. So little by little, they're inserting all of these things to expand the universe just a little bit more. But just the action scenes in this movie just blew me away. They were so good. And compared to the first movie, they opened up with a bang. Like, that opening assault on the Hydra base was so incredible. You've seen the trailers for it, where you have that shot where they're all jumping out at once. That takes place a little further into that action scene. First we get that first shot of, I think it's Hawkeye shooting, and then they all just start running in. Yep. I especially loved seeing Thor and Captain America actually team up with their shield and hammer. Yep. Like when he actually hit it and sent that shockwave that just destroyed everything. Yes.
I now know the name of that metal by heart.
I wish it were adamantium. So they could connect the universes a little bit more, because even in the comics, Ultron's ultimate body is made of adamantium and not the substance they use for Captain America's shield.
Yes.
But that's a minor nitpick.
Did he actually use that? I thought he just used it to help make Vision.
He pretty much just used it to make Vision. I don't know if he used that to upgrade his final body, because he actually went through a few different transformations in the movie.
That's something
or maybe
I liked.
He just actually, you can't even say he went through transformations. I guess you could say all those robots were Ultron. You know, it's just one collective consciousness.
Because his consciousness was in the cloud.
That's why he, you know, that one scene where him and Iron Man had that battle where they were flying through over the big, like, rail yard, and then Iron Man just blasted him. You're like, oh, he just killed Ultron. No, he's just got another body lying in
No, I think even Ultron says, you don't even understand how this works.
Yeah, like, basically, you can kill me, but there's, like, hundreds of me.
Yeah.
You know, this is just another, you know, proxy body.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a antenna to take in Ultron. It's not actually Ultron. And the one, okay, so let's walk through all the characters. Hawkeye,
all right,
I liked, humanized him a little bit, and the fans even are like, why is Hawkeye here? You know, he's a dude with a bow and arrow, and even he addresses that. He's like, we're fucking at a war with robots. I got a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. Yeah. You know, like, it's just hilarious. So they even bring that up. He has a family. Black Widow, interesting. Scarlet Jo is hot, so it's always cool to see her on screen, but
for me, Black Widow was the biggest disappointment of the movie, but only because I felt that they sort of destroyed her character by giving her a love story, which I also feel is kind of insulting to the female fan base as well. It's like, oh, great, we got a female. I guess she has to have a forced love story.
Yes.
Black Widow doesn't need that shit. She's proved again and again that she's not just a sex object, and she can kick some major ass. She does it in this movie. The problem is she's constantly anchored to the Hulk in this movie. And
yes.
That really, really bugs me because it basically shows that all these new Marvel movies are just completely ignoring the Incredible Hulk movie, the one that had Edward Norton in it, which these are connected. At the end of that movie, you see the scene where Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark comes into the bar and meets General Ross, and that got me thinking, wasn't Bruce Banner involved in a relationship with Liv Tyler, Betty Ross? Why does he never bring her up? Why don't they ever try to reconcile their relationship? And why is he even trying to start something with Scarlett Johansson? Like, it bugs me. It's like they're completely ignoring that part of the Hulk.
Yeah, and the other thing is I thought the Hulk had kind of gotten past transforming and stuff. Didn't he kind of get past that?
I mean, they hinted at it at the end of the Avengers, but, you know, he has a little more control in this movie. I mean, they let the Hulk loose, you know, in that opening fight scene, and it's up to...
Code Green.
You know, yeah, exactly, which is very nice, but then you have Black Widow, who actually has to, like, calm him down in that very, like, strange scene where they have to, like, touch hands.
She jerks him off.
Yeah, it's really weird. You know, he shrinks.
So anyway, the point is...
the metaphor for that is amazing.
Yeah, the point is that she has to, like... They become close because she has to help him come down from the Hulk transformation.
Yeah, and they're trying to see if they start a relationship, how they can make it work. And obviously, if they do, they might have to run away from everyone, including the Avengers. And ultimately, at the end of the movie, nothing happens. The Hulk just ends up sort of running away, and you don't even see, like, after the final battle, you don't even see Bruce Banner again.
No,
like, that's
gone.
it.
Yeah.
You know, you just assume, oh, we got him on radar. He's out there somewhere. I'm sure he's going to pop up in the next Avengers movie. Maybe he'll make a surprise appearance in some of the other movies.
Maybe he'll get his own movie, but he's not telling us.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know when we're going to get another big Hulk movie. I'd like to see Mark Ruffalo, like, try, though, because he's still hasn't had, like, his own Hulk movie yet. You know, he's been, like, the side character in all these Avengers. But, like I said, Black Widow, I just wish they hadn't given her that love story.
Okay, the big three. We got Iron Man, we got Thor, we got Captain America. I think all of them were really good, besides Thor not getting enough screen time or lines.
Yeah.
Captain America, very interesting. They did have some hints to Civil War.
Oh, yeah. Him and Tony Stark were at each other's throats the entire movie.
Yes.
Aside from the final scene, and
but in a respectful-ish
even
way?
when they were saying goodbye, like, there was still some tension. Like, you know, they don't quite know how to communicate with each other. And, you know, that one scene when they're hanging out at Hawkeye's house in the middle of the country.
Chopping
wood.
Yeah.
You know, that was just, you know, the minute that scene started and they started talking, I'm like, oh, they're just planting the seeds for Civil War so hardcore right now.
Yeah.
And that was so badass when Captain America just ripped the log with his hands.
Yeah.
And then his pile of wood was so much bigger than Tony Stark's. He's like, hey, don't take from my pile. You know, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and even Samuel L. Jackson's scene after that he comes in, you know. And the wife of Hawkeye sends him over there, and then it's actually
my only issue with Captain America is that in the final battle, where did his mask go? Why did he take it off? why won't he just keep his damn costume on? I want to see Captain America. I want to see our superheroes in their super suits. Like,
yes.
That's what's really important to me. But still, his action scenes in this one were great, especially all the ricocheting moves. Especially
Yes.
that opening one in the snow battle where it hit like 10 different trees and like 20 different soldiers at once. And all the combination attacks that he did with Thor were really, really great. And even Black Widow got to use his shield in one scene. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Okay, now let's talk about the Vision.
Yeah.
He's the new guy. One semi-underused, I feel like, because he showed up towards the last, like, 1/3 of the movie, which I understand. He was a later introduction to the film. But he's interesting. I also don't really know how to feel about him. Like, he's kind of like a blank slate in a lot of ways.
They have a lot more they can do with the Vision.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that the effects on him were great.
His makeup?
Really
Perfect.
good. It was probably a combination of makeup and CG, but it was really hard to tell. Like, I kept like, look, like, how are they doing that? But it looked really good.
Yeah, like he had like this perfect skin that was like not wrinkled. I don't know how to describe it. You know, it's just everything about his makeup looked
But
really
I've never
good.
seen an effect like that before, and it looked really good. If it was makeup, that was one of the best damn makeup jobs that I've ever seen.
And he also has very interesting powers. He like can like shoot a beam from his crystal head.
Thanks to the mind gem that they emplaced in his forehead, he can use that as a laser. But the Vision's main powers in the comics, and they only showed it like maybe for a split second in the movie, is he's able to phase through objects. And there's a scene where he's like fighting against the Ultron robots, and you can see like he's taking his hands and putting it through them, and there's like this green aura that's like around it, and he just like rips through them. Basically, he can phase through objects and rip them apart.
Okay.
And we only got to see a little bit of that, and of course, the big final scene where Iron Man, Thor, and Vision team up their big attacks and fire on Ultron at once.
Yes.
That was probably the biggest scene for Vision. But Vision is a really interesting character. Did you ever used to watch the Justice League cartoon? Or
No, not really.
All right,
No,
well, do you know that there's this one member of the Justice League? His name is Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
Ridiculous name. He basically looks
The
like
green guy.
Yeah, the green guy.
I know who you're talking about.
The Vision is compared to Martian Manhunter and like vice versa as well all the time. They're basically the same type of character. The only
Yes.
difference being one's an alien, one's kind of a synthetic human robot.
Yes.
But they pretty much have the same thing, trying to look out for the sake of mankind and all living things. But he's also kind of a powerhouse. Like, he picks up Thor's hammer, which either means he's worthy or because he's an artificial being, he's able to do it. I especially loved how Captain America's like, I mean, if the hammer's in an elevator, the elevator goes up. It's not actually lifting it.
Yeah,
Like, that's a really good point. It's kind of the same, thing. He's a mechanical being, thus, he can still pick it up.
Yeah, because he just grabs it and hands it to Thor. He's like, "Come on, let's go!"
I
And
remember
everyone's
the
like,
whole audience just like gasped at that moment. And there was a nice build up to that because there's that one scene when they're having the party and they're all trying to lift Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
That was really, really funny. I especially loved when Captain America just nudged it a little bit and the just look on Thor's face. He's like, "Oh God, please no! This is like all I got going for me."
Yeah.
But Thor was awesome. Like you said, he was completely underused, but he still had some really great action scenes. He had some of the best funny dialogue in the movie. Just hearing Tony Stark and Thor like argue about whose girlfriend was better, I thought that was funny. Just Thor's great. I always think he's fantastic. And then of course there is Iron Man, who actually I wasn't that blown away by Iron Man in this movie. And considering how important he was to the role, like how he created Ultron and everything, like
I feel like his charm is wearing off in some ways, or we know his powers or what to expect. He flies around.
I mean, this is the 5th movie that Iron Man has been in.
Yeah, he flies around. He has missiles that can come out of his shoulders or his forearms, and he can shoot beams. Yeah. And then he also talks shit. But that's kind of what Iron Man does.
Yeah. I mean, and it looks like his suit was slightly newer in this one, had a slight redesign behind it. But you know what? There's a reason why these characters usually get like a trilogy deal, and then they just occasionally appear as like cameos and side characters in the other movies. Like, I don't expect to see another Iron Man movie anytime soon, but I still wouldn't mind seeing more of Iron Man in the future. And even though Iron Man didn't blow me away in this movie, War Machine popping up out of nowhere, that was really appreciated.
But the dude with the wings never showed up.
Yeah, Falcon never showed up. I thought that, and he's going to be one of the new Avengers anyway, so this would have been a good opportunity to bring him in. But then again, there's still other characters we haven't even talked about.
He's actually not, to be honest, not to be mean, he doesn't really have superpowers. He's just a dude with a jetpack.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Hawkeye. Hawkeye's a main member of the team. I mean, if anything, Falcon should definitely be able to hold his own.
I guess that's true.
But still, there's a ton of other characters we haven't even talked about. Let's talk about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Oh yeah, I totally
the resident
forgot about them.
mutants of Age of Ultron.
Genetic enhancements, Corey.
Genetic enhancements. We can't cross over with X-Men quite yet, which is kind of disappointing. It's really strange to have a movie out within a year where we already see a different version of Quicksilver. Because I
like the other one better, but this one was like a more buff Avengers type character, while the other one was more of a goofy kind of funny. Because he wasn't supposed to compete in a physical presence way, I feel like, in the X-Men movie. But this way he had to keep up with all these like buff dudes, and so they kind of made him a more ripped European guy instead of looking like a video game nerd, kind of like the other one.
Yeah, I mean, they could get away with that too in Days of Future Past because it was like kind of a post-apocalyptic future. They're like, there are no more rules about like fashion and everything, so they can kind of go crazy with that.
Yeah.
But I can't choose which one I like best because they were both so different. The Quicksilver in Age of Ultron was a little more tragic, and that's mostly because of the whole backstory with him and his twin sister about how Sokovia has been taken over by Hydra and all that other stuff, and then of course Ultron comes in and just makes things worse. And the biggest thing that I thought was surprising is that they killed off Quicksilver.
They killed him
in this movie. They kind of built up to it a little bit. They made it seem like he wasn't going to come back, especially when he was getting ready to go into battle and he was worrying about his sister. She said to go alone. But still, I didn't expect that it was going to go down that way. But he did have some really standout scenes. Like I especially love the one when they were the train was crashing through the city streets, and Quicksilver was running and getting everybody out of the way as it was like crashing around him. It looked really nice and fluid. And the scene in the Hydra factory when they were fighting, and he just ran around everybody and punched Captain America in the face. I thought that was cool.
I still almost don't understand Scarlet Witch's powers, though. She can
control your mind. It's all in her name, man. She's a witch. She's basically a mutant witch. That's really all you need to know. She has evil red energy, which she can use physically, protect people, mess with people's minds, manipulate them.
I guess that's a good way to put it, because I was just like, I don't understand where her powers end and begin.
But then again, in the movie, they didn't even call her the Scarlet Witch. They didn't call Quicksilver Quicksilver. They barely ever call them by their superhero names. There's a few, Thor. They call him Thor because he's from freaking Asgard. That's his name. There's no other name he could have.
It's not like he's Thor, also known as Fred.
Yeah, exactly.
He is Thor.
It's like when Iron Man's flying, they don't say, Iron Man, we need your help. They call him Tony.
Yeah, they call everyone by their...
and that's not even a big
deal.
They
call Captain America Cap.
Yeah, they call him Cap, which I'm okay with that, because they do that in the comics, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Captain America, just keep your damn helmet on. Scarlet Witch was pretty cool. I thought she was going to be kind of like a down part of the movie, but I actually thought a lot of her action scenes were cool, and she's going to be one of the future members of the Avengers, which, if anybody reads the comics, that makes perfect sense. She's one of the founding members, so it's actually great to finally have Scarlet Witch in there, and maybe this is the first opportunity to try and bring in the X-Men franchise. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I think it's going to happen in our lifetime. Definitely.
It's going to happen eventually. Maybe not till after 2020, but it'll happen.
Right. Well, let's talk about the man of the hour, Ultron.
Boom.
Ultron.
First of all, what a great villain in the sense of having a personality.
Yes.
The actor, I forget his name, the guy from Blacklist.
James
Blacklist. Spader. Yeah, from the Blacklist.
Yeah. He even has his head tilts and everything.
He's got the whole thing. It's
ridiculous. His mannerisms.
He probably... they probably CGI'd him in a lot of ways, like Andy Serkis gets put into movies, like they put all the motion tracking in and stuff like that. And first of all, he had a real big personality in the film.
Way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Like going in, I didn't think Ultron was going to be as funny as he was going to be.
Yeah, that's what I mostly mean. He's funny and like interesting. And the one thing that I actually found to be very strange about his character in some ways, how he can kind of like swap bodies. I never really felt like Ultron was a physical presence, or in a physical scary guy in the movie, because like Iron Man beat his ass like 3 different times. Like they kill him 3 different times, so he never like messes anyone up physically. It's more like him being calculating. Well, that's what James Spader is. He's a weird sort of dark calculating character in the Blacklist, and I feel like that sort of like transferred over into this character. And I just thought he was much more of a presence on screen than I was expecting. And the one thing that I wish would have happened is that like he would have fought like against Captain America. Practically kicked his ass too.
Yeah, like on top of that truck. That scene was great too.
That was I just was kind of expecting more of a physical presence for our main bad guy, and I didn't get it. That's like my one negative takeaway from it.
I can kind of agree. Like going into this one, like Loki's a really great villain in terms of like personality and his actual motivations and everything. Ultron is just like a physical big threat, and like you said, I didn't really feel that from him, but it's more so that he has this just massive, endless army of robots,
yeah,
which are him. So, you know, he's always sort of all over the place, and that could even go with the fact that why he gets destroyed so easily, because whenever he fights people, he just goes for it and just goes crazy, because it doesn't matter if he gets destroyed.
Yeah.
There's thousands more of me. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, like, all the trailers for the movie made it seem like Ultron was just going to be so much more of a darker presence for the film and kind of move this one in a different direction, which it's still very similar to the Avengers. There's a lot of joking. There's a lot of one-liners, which some people may or may not like. I frankly thought the whole running joke with Captain America not liking cursing was hilarious.
Yes.
Because they kept bringing it up. Even at the very end of the movie. Like, the very beginning, there's this action scene where Captain America is scolding Tony Stark, and he tells him to watch his language, and throughout the whole thing, every other character will bring up to Captain America, like, oh, sorry, we didn't want to offend you, Cap, or, oh, watch a language, Cap. So it was really, really funny, because, of course, Captain America is kind of like the Boy Scout of the entire team.
He's fucking white bread of the team.
He's the Superman of the team, basically.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. But overall, I thought the movie was good. I'm not sure if I like it more than the original Avengers. I'm still not sure.
I do like it more than the original Avengers.
You did?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I think
just a
like
little bit more. But that's
same.
only because I care more about Ultron than I do about Loki and the random aliens called the Chitauri. You know, basically, this was the Avengers fighting against Ultron constantly.
In that sense, yes, but you're also kind of saying you care more about the random robots than the random aliens.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I said, I only like it just a little bit more, but I still think they're both really great action flicks. The only thing that I would get rid of in this movie is the Hulk Black Widow love angle. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Besides that, I didn't even mind that I want to say Arrow, but that's not his name. Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind that Hawkeye had a family and all that. That didn't bother me at
And that's
all.
very different from the comics.
Oh,
you
he
know,
doesn't
because
have
I think in the comics, and this kind of goes with my whole Hulk Black Widow thing. Black Widow and Hawkeye are supposed to have like a thing for each other.
That makes more sense because they're kind of like, you know, together all the time because they're the non-super heroes. You know, they're the people without powers.
And then, you know, this whole, you know, I guess you could kind of say like the whole Scarlet Johansson like Hulk thing started in the first Avengers. Like, they had a lot of scenes together, like when he hulked out for the first time in that movie, like she was like a critical part of that. So maybe they're just trying to drive that home a little bit more, but I don't want a love story in the Avengers. I just don't care, especially with all these amazing superheroes around. Like, that's the least thing I care about.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
But there's also one more last thing. There is the post-credit scene, which is very short.
Not post-credit.
Mid-credit scene. Yeah,
early.
like they show like the main cast, director, producer, all that jazz.
Okay, let me just build up to this. At the end of the film, Captain America, or no, I think it was Thor, was saying, I feel like the Arkenstone, that's not what it's called.
That's the Hobbit. Yeah.
What are those stones called?
The Infinity Stones.
The Infinity Gauntlets, stones that are going to go into the gauntlet. They were saying that, like, I feel like some big force is trying to make those stones, you know, work his way towards him. And obviously they're referring to Thanos. And Thanos is pulling the strings. So obviously Thanos knows about Earth, if that's true. And it looks like it is, because he knows that Ultron failed. And probably what he was going to do was have Ultron take over and then show up and kill Ultron and take the stone. It's probably what I'm assuming, right? Why would he work with him?
It's a possibility, but I really don't even think Thanos would even work with Ultron.
That's what I mean, to show up and
maybe
kill him.
just taking advantage of the fact that he's getting the gem for him. But,
yes.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a obvious nod to Thanos being involved soon, and then you can take it from there.
Oh yeah, post-credit scene.
Yeah,
freaking amazing. Mid-credit scene, whatever you want to call it. It opens up. You see this big futuristic case is opening, and inside of it is the golden Infinity Gauntlet with none of the stones in it. And then freaking Thanos just walks up, puts on the gauntlet, and claims that he's going to do things himself this time, which means there is a very strong possibility we could finally see Thanos sooner than later. Although I still think they're going to wait for Infinity War. They might show him at the end of Captain America, or tease him in some of the other like Phase 2, Phase 3 Marvel movies. Just the sky's the limit with Thanos, and I can't wait to see how this is all going to tie into Ant-Man, which Marvel, I cannot believe they didn't do anything to tie this movie into Ant-Man whatsoever. Especially because in the comic versions, the actual original Ant-Man, who's played by Michael Douglas in the new movie, he's the one who technically created Ultron.
Yes, in a technical sense in the comic books, but not in the technical sense.
Yeah,
of
like
the
they
movies.
could have like had an allusion to the fact that, like, you know, Tony Stark's like, yeah, the Ultron like program, I got the ideas from Pym Tech. Hank Pym, like they could have referenced it in some way, and they should have like maybe done something with that to promote Ant-Man. I mean, showing the trailer was enough. And I still think that movie's going to do good. Ant-Man's not exactly the biggest hero in the public eye, but I can't wait to see how they're going to tie him into the Avengers, because in many ways, I'm more excited to see Ant-Man now, like, just because of how new and fresh it's going to be after this experience. But,
I think Ant-Man's going to be good. It's going to work a different angle altogether. And but overall, again, I really liked it.
Yeah, if you could give it a score, like, out of 10, what would you give it?
I almost want to watch it again before I could give it another score, but I'd say an 8.
Yeah?
It was really good.
All right.
You're a little
nicer than I am. I'm going to say 7.
7.5?
7.
7?
Yeah.
You don't do 2.5s.
Yeah, a really good above-average movie. Lots of really great action, but a few pacing issues in the whole Hulk Black Widow thing.
I don't knock him for that, because it's hard with all those characters.
Oh, I know, it's tough. And this movie tried to, like, develop a lot of those side characters, especially the ones who don't have their own movies, like Black Widow and Hawkeye, so...
I'm just glad that they had War Machine in there.
Yeah, that was such a nice surprise. Just to see Don Cheadle come back. That scene where he's at the party, he's telling a joke and bombs, and then they show him telling the joke to another group, and they all love it. He's just like, yeah, I'm a badass.
Yeah, and then Thor's like, that's a horrible story. Whatever he said. Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, it was really nice, just, aside from the action, just getting to see them all, like, just sort of hang out in a setting like that. That was really cool.
Yeah, it is sort of funny to see all the Avengers hang out casually. It's sort of interesting if you think about it. What else, Corey? Was that it?
That is not it.
That's not it. I know there was more.
As epic as the Avengers really is, there's something more epic coming our way this July.
Dun, dun, dun,
the
dun,
brand
dun,
new
dun, 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 dun,
Dragon Ball anime series, Dragon Ball Super. And there's nothing they've released about it except for the name of the show and when it's coming out. Holy crap!
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know why? Because we're getting new Dragon Ball anime, and it's not focusing on the next generation. It's not like 100 years in the future. Fuck that. It's just going to be picking up where it left off. Goku and Vegeta are still around. Probably going to be the stars of it, in my opinion. And then, and we're probably going to pick up right after this new movie that's about to come out.
Now, interesting thing, they did say that this new show is going to take place after the Majin Buu saga. What they don't say is, does this take place after the Majin Buu saga and Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F? Or before those movies? And that is going to change the entire dynamic of this show.
Okay, if it needs to go after the Frieza movie.
It totally needs to.
Yes.
Mostly because this will be another great way to see more of this, like, god form, the blue-haired Super Saiyan.
And the other gods of destruction. And a multi-universe tournament.
Yes.
That's what I want.
It really needs
bad.
to happen.
I want a multi-universe tournament with all the different aliens coming in. Goku's going to slowly become friends with all of them because he's fucking, that's what he does. He's Luffy, Naruto, all rolled it together, and he makes friends with everybody. And then maybe, they go back on Earth and they have adventures with Krillin, where he's a cop now or some shit.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to keep his job after the whole Resurrection of F thing.
Yeah, he's just going to be a cop. He's just sitting there writing tickets, still getting shit on by people that he could kill with one finger, and it's going to be good, you know? I don't know. I just want to... I know you've said, I think I've heard you say that you want to see more things with the side characters, but really, I'd be okay with just Goku going on a multi-universe adventure, personally. That's just me, though.
And that's the thing that's kind of cool about this show. It's like, even if I don't get that side character stuff, I'm still going to get some awesome adventures with Goku and Vegeta, who I still love. I know a lot of people want the other characters more, but I'd still be okay with that, and, it's a great point that you bring up the whole, like, alternate universes with gods. That's probably where they're going to go with this whole angle, and I love the idea of doing another tournament. I know it's like, oh, that's been done to death in Dragon Ball, but it's kind of like the foundation of the original series, and if they can somehow bring all these alternate universes together and, like, find this location somewhere in the middle of the universe to have this big tournament where they can bring everybody in, and to make it even better, bring back the announcer from the Budokai Tenkaichi tournaments from the original series and have him actually do the commentary. That would be the most fun arc of the entire series. But they also need to introduce some new villains and some antagonists for the series. The problem they have with doing that, though, is just all the other villains in Dragon Ball are so nasty powerful that they're really going to have to come up with some creative gimmicks in order to make these guys seem threatening if they're not as powerful or if they are more powerful. Because,
like, have you ever seen the Dragon Ball webcomic, Dragon Ball Multiverse?
Yeah, it's okay.
You think it's just okay?
I mean, I like the artwork and some of the character design.
You don't like the storytelling, the idea of that they just bring back all the characters in different, like, not just different universes, but they bring them back, like, if Vegeta really ruled Planet Vegeta, and then they bring back, like, that universe. Like, imagine multiverse. Yeah. You know, that's why they call it multiverse. Like, every way of an outcome, they bring all those people together for their own tournament, and I find it very interesting. You know, like if Frieza won over all the planets and was the ruler of everything, him and his father and his brother all go and enter the tournament from that direction. And then there's one where all the Namekians fuse into one being to defeat Frieza, and there's just this one epically strong Namekian that is like the being of all of them.
I mean, there really isn't a limit on how many times Namekians can fuse with each other, is there?
No.
So they never really made that clear.
No, they can just keep
doing
it.
So the whole planet just becomes one being.
And just destroys Frieza.
Oh, that actually does sound kind of cool.
Yeah, and then
but it's like an alternate take.
Yeah, it's like if you could have everything that could happen all in one tournament. It's like the ultimate Dragon Ball Z tournament.
That's weird.
So actually, I really like it. So that's why I want a big multi-tournament. Obviously, this can't happen. That would be fucking ridiculous. Yeah. It'd be almost lazy storytelling. But like you get Super Vegito versus Broly in Broly's Super Saiyan 3. You know, like you get some ridiculous fights. And then you also get like a fight where Vegito takes on this guy, this like wizard guy, but he actually wins against Vegito because what happens is he shoots him into another dimension that takes a really long time, a really slow universe. It's like the opposite of the hyperbolic time chamber. So he sends him there, and then Vegito has to like power up to get back out. But it had taken so long, he got disqualified, so he actually lost the tournament, even though he's way stronger than that guy. So they have like sort of things like that happen. So outsmarting your opponents is very important.
That's another reason why this whole tournament thing could work. And like I said, it doesn't really matter if we have characters who are like as powerful as Majin Buu or like Golden Frieza or anything. If they have these abilities which can help them in battle, even if it's not physical strength, they can win. And that's another angle that I think would be really cool about this new Dragon Ball show, because this is an opportunity to inject a little bit of newness into it, because most characters in Dragon Ball at this point, techniques mostly just consist of being really strong and shooting beams. This is an opportunity to create some really unique powers for the characters, new abilities that we've never seen before, which can really be unique, because if Dragon Ball is going to be successful, it needs to take some chances, like big time, because we've seen pretty much everything that Dragon Ball has to offer in terms of like just raw hand-to-hand fighting and beams and stuff. Like we've seen planets explode and stuff. Like how do you even go beyond that unless you see like a universe explode? And even then, that's just sort of upping the ante and making it bigger.
A bigger explosion.
Exactly. We need to see something just new, some sort of brand new technique. Like Goku's like, I've been working on this brand new technique. I can't wait to show you what it does. You know, kind of like what they do in Naruto and One Piece.
Yeah, he powers up and then he turns into a half monkey man.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if we need half monkey man up in Super Dragon Ball. But yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. At the end of that one Dragon Ball movie, Fusion Reborn, Goku and Vegeta do the fusion dance and they fuse together and they become Gogeta, which is the only time that we've ever seen that transformation.
Yes.
What a perfect time to bring that back. Not only is this fusion awesome and really unique, but it's not a permanent fusion. So can you imagine Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta fusion dance together? What the hell is that going to do? It's going to destroy the universe.
Yes, well, that's the ultimate super duper mega form. But at the same time, they don't like to do that because they're like stubborn idiots that like to only fight and win their own battles.
But I'd love to see a situation where maybe that could come back.
Yeah, that could be something that would be very interesting. There's just so many. At the same time, there's so many options, but at the same time, a lot of those options have been done to death. So that's why you're saying they've got to take chances if they want this to be successful. I think they will. And it's not like people aren't going to watch.
Oh, dude. Like, that's oh my God. I might even have a party for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be huge. I'd love to get us all just reacting to the first episode of the series.
Yes.
I think that would be really cool.
That.
We might actually do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm going to invite some people over, and we're going to watch the first episode of Super Dragon Ball. I just didn't think this was going to happen.
We're all going to have to wear headphones, though, so we don't get the audio in it.
Oh, I know. But still, like, I didn't even think this was going to happen. It seems like maybe the movies were like a test bed for the new show, just to see how popular they were. And, if Funimation and Toei Animation are smart, they will somehow try to create some sort of partnership so that they can show Super Dragon Ball on Toonami at least close to or maybe the exact same time as its Japanese airing, kind of like what they did with Space Dandy. If they do that, this show's going to break all sorts of records. And it'll be amazing because that means we'll be able to watch any version of it we want. We can watch it on TV. That'll be amazing, man.
No, that's going to be pretty awesome. Actually, really awesome.
And that would help Toonami's ratings out so much because
I just want Space Dandy Season 2.
I think we all want Space Dandy Season 2.
I want that. Give me that, world.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Yes. So we're not going to do awkward Imgur readings this week because I didn't have time to do that. But there was, I think, one photo I wanted to show you here that we'll show you this.
Could it be classified as awkward?
Awkward, and it is from Imgur, but it's only one. Actually, it's 2 photos. I'll show you 2.
So it's awkward Imgur reading. Okay. All right. The first image alone is already funny just because it's from Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
But it's Matthew McConaughey at the top picture, hanging out with the boys from Dazed and Confused, and he says, "I get older, they stay the same age." And then the shot at the bottom is the older version of Matthew McConaughey in what I believe is Interstellar. And he says, "They get older, I stay the same age."
That's called the Matthew McConaughey
wow, he
paradox.
Yeah, that is weird. He hasn't really aged all that much.
No, but the point is he's in 2 movies that look at time completely backwards.
Weird.
Yeah, you get it?
That's really weird, yeah.
You get it? It's sort of like backwards in that way.
Dazed and Confused. They've been showing that a lot over the course of the last week on VH1.
Oh, really?
Mostly because I think 420 just passed.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a big movie for that. Okay, now this is something you got to scroll down on. Because Apple just released a new trackpad that has pressure-sensitive touching, and Kotaku wrote a article on it. And just by the title, you can kind of get it. Oh, you have to scroll down.
All right, so here we go. Why the Apple trackpad might be the best video game controller ever made. Oh, man, John Cena. Oh, my God. The cheetah! The cheetah is my favorite one in that final picture.
The Tom Cruise at the Scientology convention?
That's creepy, man.
But it's not the best controller ever made.
No, definitely not.
No, it's not. The cheetah's your favorite? I like the Tom Cruise. Anyway, it's just a whole bunch of pictures of people laughing, saying best controller ever made, and with each line, there's other people laughing. I found it very funny. I was like, oh, damn.
I like it.
No. It's not the best.
No.
Not the best, even close. Well, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. This was the Awesome Nerd Something Cast thing, right? Something like that, right? Yep. The Powerful Nerd Podcast. That is what this is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Use our Amazon link if you're shopping on Amazon. Helps us out. Donate to the podcast. If you've watched like 10 of these and you really like them, damn it, give us $1, you asshole. Okay, thank you so much.
The pressure's on now.
$1. That's 10 cents an episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do really appreciate it. All the feedback is always appreciated. And keep telling us what you want to hear us talk about. We always look at the comments, and Corey's really good about responding. I am too when I get a chance. And so stay tuned for next week. We're getting a whole bunch of awesome stuff next week, right? We got the next chapter of One Piece coming. It's going to show some
new Naruto Gaiden.
New Naruto Gaiden.
God, it's always as soon as the cool stuff happens, we got to go on break.
I know. It's like, damn it. It's like they planned that shit out.
It's Golden Week, though.
Yes,
it's a cultural thing.
Well, thank you guys again for watching, and we will talk to you later. And remember to stay dandy, baby.